Good morning, beautiful community, friends. Thank you for being here. I wanted to do this video this morning as I'm sitting here on a very frigidly cold New York Sunday morning, reflecting on the past week, as I often do. And I find myself saying every Sunday morning, wow, this week was a lot. This week was a lot. And this week was no different. I spent this week, tending to so many hearts, and I sat with many children this week whose nervous systems are completely fried. They are under extraordinary immune and inflammatory stress. Their bodies are stuck in survival mode with no off switch. Some of them are carrying diagnoses of PANS and PANDAS, and their families are so overwhelmed and confused and desperate for answers and support because it's affecting the whole family. I have also spent the week living with adults who are suffering with chronic illness, and they're doing everything. They're doing everything right. They're taking all the supplements. They're doing all of the biohacks. They're seeing all of the practitioners, and yet nothing is changing, and it's really affecting their quality of life, right? They're not getting any better. I've sat with a number of people this week who carry the diagnosis of OCD. And I found myself repeating numerous times this week how OCD has nothing to do primarily with thoughts, and it has everything to do with a nervous system that never feels safe enough to rest, right? And I'm thinking I should actually do a video on that because a lot of people are dealing with those symptoms for a variety of reasons. But unless we understand the real truth of it and the root cause of it and what's really going on, we can't help ourselves. So it's always what I try to do is to educate. I have held parents in my arms this week who are so worn thin, really hard-working, well-intentioned parents, desperately trying to make ends meet, trying to afford schooling for their kids, sports, therapies, carrying so much responsibility with really little room to breathe. And I've also held in my arms this week teenagers who are buckling under the pressure. Some of them right now are awaiting college decisions, and so they are holding their breaths, desperately checking their emails every day as though their entire future hinges on that one click. And I've sat with so many families who are just living on the edge with the uncertainty of the world and being scared for their families and scared for what the future holds. Now, as I'm saying all this, I realize I should be clear about something. I'm never speaking about one person or one story, right? This is all of the patterns that I see across all of the people who I am privileged and honor to sit with in the course of a week. People from all over the world. All over the world. The pressure is being felt everywhere right now. And I carry people's stories with such respect. I take that so seriously, the trust that people place in me. But it's important to talk about these patterns, right? And the patterns are really impossible to miss, that people from all over the world at all different ages and all different stages and all different circumstances, we are all the same at the root. And right now what we're all dealing with is nervous systems that have been staying in survival mode for too long. Nervous systems that are operating as though we are endlessly being chased by tigers. The threat is real. The threat is ongoing. We are living in bodies that are endlessly bracing instead of being given permission or an opportunity to rest. We are living with immune systems that are constantly firing because they can't get the message that we're safe enough for them to step down and stop defending. So we're all living with biology and bioenergetics that are responding to a world that is relentless. It's relentless. The incoming input, this endless stimulation, the pressure, the urgency, it's relentless. It's relentless. And what I know to be true from doing this work for almost 3 decades, personally on myself, as well as professionally, is that healing does not involve doing more. Right now, everybody recognizes that they're not well, and they're trying to do all the things, all the pills, all the protocols, all the biohacks, people running around cold plunging and red light therapying. And there's nothing wrong with those things, okay? Except that, here's the thing. Healing doesn't require more effort. More effort just keeps us spinning out of control. Healing requires, first and foremost, safety. Safety. Regulation, restoring our essential and natural rhythm, restoring our connection with our bodies, with the natural living worlds. We've got to come back to being able to experience trust and safety in ourselves. And that's what we're all missing right now. And so this is what my work keeps coming back to, whether I am sitting with someone, one-on-one, privately, in my healing haven, or even virtually, and I am holding space for them as they are unraveling, feel like they're falling apart, or whether I am supporting an entire family, or whether I am teaching or presenting or writing or recording podcasts, the underlying messaging is all the same. The writing, the videos, the conversations are all about what it actually takes to heal in a world like this. And so if you are watching this morning and this is resonating with you and you're like, wow, yeah, my body is carrying so much and I feel like I have the weight of the world on my shoulders, or you're watching your children carry the weight of the world on their little shoulders, or if you're recognizing that you are hanging on by a thread, first of all, please know you're not alone. Know that you're not alone. I see you, and I feel you, and I got you. And in these moments, it's really helpful to know that you're not alone. So please, I put a lot of content out there. If you follow me, you know that. I post every single day. Free content. I write. I have a Substack channel. You can read my writings. I post videos on my YouTube channel. I have a weekly podcast on my YouTube channel. I have shorts on my YouTube channel. I have books. I have wellness guides. So if you want to sit with this, if you really want to read stories of how you're not alone and then what to do about it, it's there. And also, not only do the stories remind us we're not alone, but they help us to remember that we're not imagining what we're feeling. We're not going crazy. We're not just aging. Ladies, this is not just hormonal. Men, it's not just hormonal. This is real. And you're not alone in it. And this week in my healing haven really reminded me of that. I wish you all a beautiful and blessed start to the new week.